This vehicle is dangerously overloaded. Welcome back, Charlie here. To try and save time and money, people often overload vehicles. Sometimes with things, and other times with people. These are the most overloaded vehicles ever caught on camera. First, we have to look at this overloaded truck. Trucks are designed to carry heavy loads, but certain people push trucks to their absolute limits. The excess cargo can cause trucks to lean, and sometimes even fall over. This makes things very dangerous for the truck driver, not to mention all the other drivers on the road. In some countries, people use cheap trucks and overload them, causing the trucks to be crushed under the cargo's weight. It's even more dangerous when these trucks drive up hilly roads. They may have to make sharp turns, and if the truck tips over, then it falls down the hill. This scary photo was taken on a hilly road in Dargai, Pakistan. People had overloaded a truck with a big bag of sand. They did this to try and save time and money, but the sand spilled everywhere and the truck is now broken. This means that they lost money and it will now take a longer time. It would have been better to put these in two separate trucks, but these people did not think far into the future. Many of these people tried to pull the truck down using ropes. It is great people helped out, but those same people should have prevented this happening in the first place. Clearly, nobody spoke up to say the truck was way overloaded, and because of that, the truck overturned. It's clear that disaster is just around the corner whenever you overload a truck. Some people even try and overload smaller trucks, causing them to tip over backwards. This man even tried to overload a tricycle truck. Tricycle trucks are small trucks with only 3 wheels. They're meant for light loads only, but this man broke his truck by overloading it. These trucks can be expensive, but it seems like so many trucks get destroyed thanks to the owners overloading them. Sometimes people even overload trucks using very dangerous loads. For example, this truck stacked up with wood. These wooden logs are very poorly stacked, and they're about double the height of the vehicle itself. If they fell onto other people or cars, it could cause fatalities, which is why you can see this driver is getting a fine for his dangerous loading. It is amazing how these trucks can transport massive amounts of wood, but just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. In this video, the vehicle does seem to be driving normally despite the massive load, but there's no saying this vehicle didn't tip over later on. At first, it may seem like some vehicles can support heavy loads, but it only takes one wrong turn for them to tip over, causing massive damage. Moving on, we have to look at this overcrowded bus. In some cities, there's not enough buses to go around. This leads to thousands of people packing onto one tiny bus. This can get pretty dangerous. In one video from Kazakhstan, a man is trying to push his way onto a packed bus. There's no room for even one more person to fit in. The man pushes 2 women into the bus. He then finally tries to get himself into the bus. The door doesn't even close. But this doesn't stop the driver from driving off anyway. Although the door's hanging open, the man does manage to get on the bus. Another country famous for overcrowded buses is India. Sometimes people cling to the windows or roof of Indian buses. That's because there's not enough buses to go around, meaning that if you miss your bus, you may miss work and get fired. It's not like in some countries where another bus will come along 5 minutes later. If you miss one of these Indian buses, you may need to wait many hours, and in some cases, only one bus comes per day. This results in hyperloaded buses. People are squeezed in like sardines, and hang on for dear life. It may look kind of funny at first, but it's also very dangerous. One wrong move could cause people to fall off while the bus is moving. In some cases, too many people could cause the vehicle to be overloaded and collapse. But these people are so obsessed with getting to their destinations that they simply don't care. But if you think that's dangerous, then take a look at this. This bus in Nepal is driving along a hilly, winding road. They're incredibly high up. Despite this, people are hanging on to the doors and roof. They could easily fall and really hurt themselves. Also, if the bus fell off the cliff, cliff, then these people would surely pass away. The terrain around here is very unstable. But it seems like these bus passengers don't care. Unfortunately, every year some people do pass away thanks to buses being overloaded. This normally happens on busy roads in India or poorly maintained winding roads in Nepal. Moving on, we have to look at this overloaded bicycle. You may be shocked that people can overload bicycles, but this man in China definitely proves it's possible. He put a small extension behind his bike, allowing it to carry a truckload worth of items. Bicycles are often overloaded in China. It happens when people are too poor to afford a truck, so instead they buy a bike and overload it. This is very dangerous. It makes the bicycle rider's visibility very poor. Also, the bicycle may break under the massive weight of the cargo. Despite this, it's a common sight to see in China. It's technically illegal to do this, but in China these laws aren't very well enforced, leading to people transporting just about anything using their bikes. Moving on, we have to look at this overcrowded train. People want to reach their destination, sometimes even if it means risking their lives. These images from Kenya show people hanging off the side of a train. There are also many people sitting on top. Surprisingly, this is a normal commuter train. People make this journey every day just to get to work. Sadly, people sometimes fall off, causing them to be injured or lose their lives. Sometimes people even sit in between the train carriages, which, for obvious reasons, is very dangerous. Train overcrowding is also very common in South Africa. Overcrowded trains are also a common sight in India, but one of the most famous overcrowded trains can be found in Dhaka, Bangladesh. These people are going to a religious festival in Bangladesh. So many people wanted to go that they literally had to sit on top of the train. People are literally squeezed in like sardines, with some even sitting on the front of the train. All of the people are crushed so small they look like ants. But really, it's because the train is so big. Doing this is very dangerous, but it's daily reality for many people in certain countries around the world. If a train like this derailed, hundreds would lose their lives. But I guess that's the risk you take when boarding an overloaded train. Moving on, we have to look at this overcrowded boat. In India, you will find these insane overcrowded boats. It seems like in India, there's no vehicles which aren't overcrowded. This massive 4-story boat is very overcrowded. Some people are hanging onto the balcony of the boat. These people want to get to where they need to go to so much that they're risking their life to do so. It's very risky as people could fall off. Worse yet, the weight of the people might be too much, causing the boat to tip over or completely capsize. There is not enough lifeboats on this boat, meaning that if there was an accident, many people would lose their lives. The same thing is common in Bangladesh, which is sadly known for shipwrecks. In 2016, this boat was seen off the coast of Libya. Hundreds of people boarded this tiny boat, causing the entire boat to tip over and capsize. The Spanish and Italian Navy came to rescue the people, and thankfully got the people onto lifeboats. But it just shows how dangerous overloading boats can be. These African boat disasters are unfortunately very common. Next, we have to look at this overcrowded taxi. Taxis normally only have 5 seats, so you may be asking, how could one be overcrowded? Well, take a look at this footage from the Dominican Republic. The army noticed a taxi driving down the road. When they pulled it over, they realized there were over 10 people inside the vehicle. Dozens of people were inside the car, and many people were also crammed in the trunk. The number of people inside makes it look like a clown car. Just when you think everyone's left, there's more people inside. Some taxi drivers do this to make more money, but of course it breaks many road laws, and they may face a big fine if they're caught. This taxi in Africa had people transported on the roof, but when the police noticed, things got very scary. The passengers were chased off the roof, and they had to run away. The taxi is not only overloaded with people, but goods too. It really is wild the lengths some people will go to just to get to their destination, even if it means risking their safety and breaking the law in the process. Now, we have to look at this overloaded car. No vehicle is safe when it comes to overloading, and that includes normal cars. This car is overloaded with plastic barrels. Scaffolding had to be built in order to lift the load. Also, take a look at this overloaded car. Someone is either moving house or was made homeless, but instead of selling their stuff, they simply strapped it to their car. It seems like some people use cars even when trucks would be better for the job. Just take a look at this overloaded car leaving North Korea. This car is going to South Korea. It's leaving North Korea's Kaesong Industrial Complex. The driver is bringing products from North to South Korea. You may be wondering, how's the driver supposed to see? Well, a tiny gap has been left on the windscreen for the driver to look out of. But despite this, it still seems very dangerous. Lots of these overloaded vehicles go from North to South Korea, despite it being against the law to drive like this. But now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Comment below which of these overloaded vehicles was the most dangerous. I've been Charlie. Thanks for watching. If you want to see my short videos, then check out my second channel. Drop a like if you enjoyed. And if you haven't yet, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.